Does this want me doing this? No. Well, hi guys. All right, I'm here. What's supposed to happen? I don't know. This was not supposed to be. This was supposed to be a horizontal, not a vertical. Well, welcome in, Cosmin. This actually went live a little earlier than it was supposed to. So bear with me as I turn the lights on here in the studio. Hey, Kathleen Smith. Hey, Eagle Scout EDC. What's up, my friend? All right. Lights are set up. So, this got screwed up. 210 stacks. Hello there. This got a little screwed up tonight because this was supposed to be my usual horizontal, not a vertical. But I know what I did wrong. But we're here. We'll make the best of it. So, how's everybody tonight? I hear everybody, some people are back from Bladeshow. I unfortunately did not get to go to Bladeshow. Kind of fell through. I was possibly going to Bladeshow at one point. A vendor had contacted me about going. A vendor who was doing their first time at Bladeshow. And it wasn't a knife vendor, by the way. It was an EDC gear vendor. But I couldn't work out the finances to go down. I had to tell him I couldn't do it, which was kind of sad because I was really looking forward to it, you know. But things happen. Next year's a new year, you know. Hello, Book Dragon Jen. So for all those who are new here, Book Dragon Jen is my wife. We also call her Misadventure. So, well, Eagle Scout EDC. It's easy for you to go to Bladeshow, Texas, because you live in Texas, so it's not that big a trek. But for me to get to Atlanta this year would have been which would have been too costly. Rebel Rouser, what's up, my friend? So it would have been just too costly, and I really wanted to go though because I really wanted to meet a lot of the community, and also too I wanted to network. You know, it's always fun. You know, I love those things. When I went to the Lehigh Valley a knife show here in Pennsylvania back in April, I met some really cool people there. I met the folks over at Waxed Wing EDC, who make some really great fixed blade knives. 5 hours is nothing. I can drive 5 hours one shot without stopping. But from New Jersey to Atlanta, oof. Yeah, Rebel Rouser, I'm glad you had a good time. Now, what I heard was though that it's so big that it's hard to see everything. Is that true, Rebel Rouser? Or is that the kind of what you think? Is it really hard to see, the whole event? I mean, I can imagine. It's a little bit like I haven't been to a show that big other than New York Comic Con, and New York Comic Con is just insane. If you've never been to New York Comic Con or San Diego Comic Con, it's insane because one, the Comic Cons are so packed. You are literally shoulder to shoulder with people the whole time, and if you're a person who gets overwhelmed by crowds, never the place to be. I don't think Bladeshow would be that crowded, but still, I just can't see seeing everything. Yeah, I can see that, Rebel Rouser. Now, did you leave? Did you leave Saturday night or did you leave today, Rebel Rouser? Just curious. I know today's a shorter day for the show, but and for those who are regulars here, Saturday. Okay, gotcha. Because what I wonder is, I know, I've been to some sportsman shows with fishing gear and stuff, and a lot of vendors don't want to take stuff home with them, so they sell stuff in the last couple hours of the show dirt cheap because they just don't want to carry it back. Hey, Bama fan, welcome in, and congratulations on your goal win earlier today. I think it was today, or was it yesterday? I know it was close. It was one of these 2 days, but congratulations. But I know like I've had that happen where I bought like fishing rods, like $60, $70 fishing rods for really like $15 because the vendors don't want to carry that stuff back. They just want to get out of there. Now I know knives are smaller and easier to carry, so it may not happen as much. But like on some of those big, big hunting and fishing shows, it's like that. You know. So I've had some thoughts about it though. Like, oh, definitely yes, Eagle Scott. I appreciate that. Yeah, I guess that's the way it would be. You know. I know. Yeah, I know. Like I said, some of the hunting and fishing shows I've gone to, like some of the real big ones. Hey, Bill, what's going on, my friend? So, you know, hey, Bill, just the don't forget we have the Lehigh Valley Knife Show coming up in September again. So, also too in August, I don't know if I told you about this, Bill. There's the New York Custom Knife Show, which is actually in New Jersey, but that's coming up in August. If you want to go to that, I'm looking forward to that one. But that should be a lot of fun. See, that's the next show I'm going to, guys. I'm going to go to the New York Custom Knife Show, which again takes place in New Jersey, in Jersey City, New Jersey. But that should be a good one. I hear that's a pretty big one, but it's not. It's less. It's more custom knife makers than. Um, yeah, no problem, Bill. Than what you call it. Than production knife companies. But we'll see. I've never been there. This will be my first year going to that one. You know. So this week was interesting. I didn't get a lot into the channel, but I did get some things, or some things are actually holdovers from last week. But Texas Blade Show in March. Yeah. See, I think I want to do Atlanta. It's not Texas because one, Texas, from New Jersey is a really long trip, and I don't think I could drive it. I think I want to drive it because I want to be able to take knives with me. Or if I fly, I'm not going to be able to. You know. Um, but also since Atlanta is such a bigger show from what everybody's told me, you know. And then there's Blade Show West, and I hear that one's pretty cool as well. But just some things that came in this week. You guys know that I like my fixed blade knives as much as I like my folders. So, gotcha, gotcha, Rebel Rouser. So, some things. I had a more knife come in. And this actually came in last week, and I showed you guys this on the channel last week. But one thing about more knives, I despise, hate these sheaths. They're just, I don't like them at all. So we'll get rid of that. I found the company who makes aftermarket sheaths for more knife. Much better sheath. Locks in there, holds it at a better angle, in my opinion, and you can use whatever clips you want on it. It does come with this rotating clip on the back. It's kind of big, but if you want to use scout straps on this, hey Dragoon, hey Knight's Edge, Joe Kasprick, what's up? So now this gives you the ability on your Mora knife to use any type of thing you want. You can use your tech locks, you could use scout straps, you know. You can go with that one. I mean, it's not a bad clip. It's actually a lot better than the one that came on my off-grid knife, and I'll show you guys that. So you can actually use this, but this is such a better sheath than the one that Mora knife comes with. And these are inexpensive. That's the thing too. I mean, these were like I think it was like $18, which considering the knife was only 10, it kind of adds to the price of the knife, but it's just so much more functional in my opinion. Also too, I like just having the slight bit of orange out there as opposed to everything being orange. So I don't know what you guys think about that, but I think it's a great upgrade. 14 people in here, I'm glad. We went on earlier this week. Usually I go on at 11, but since MPG EDC, since she's now going on at 7 o'clock at night, I think I'm going to start going on at 10 each week. I think that'll work out better for some people. I know more of us will be awake. I did see that as soon as I jumped on, Dan Kenman was also on, and I love his lives, but obviously I can't be there. And then I know some of you guys will probably be jumping back and forth, and that's cool. Dan's an awesome dude. You know, I saw some of the haul that he came away with from Bladeshow. Really cool stuff. So let's go over some other things that came in. I saw this little guy on Big Red's channel. And this is that Rough Rider Barlow. This is a great little budget traditional knife. $10. Fit and finish is really good. I mean, you know, it's a 440A steel, I believe. So it's not a great blade steel, but I mean, look at that. It's a decent size. The lockup, you know, not the lockup, but the walk and talk is decent. You know, it doesn't have a snap like some of my Rosecraft knives, but still. And that's real bone dyed, and just a nice little traditional knife. And it paired up with something I bought from Olight, and that's this little leather sheath. I mean, leather, not sheath, but you know, slip joint pouch, whatever you want to call them. I don't know, but these are great, all leather, right? Not the greatest of leather, but these sell for, I believe, $1.99 or $2.99 on Olight's website. And they're made for the optical, but I'll show you why they work great for this. Fold that up. See, you've got the holes there. Again, this was made for the optical, not really made for this. But when, let's see if we get it in. So when you drop it in, it lines up perfectly. You got that pin right there, so it kind of looks cool. But on the back, the pivot lines up perfectly with the hole, almost like it was made for it. So kind of cool, you know. So, but yeah, these are kind of cool. I like these little slip joint holders to protect your knife, you know, while they just float around your pocket. Something else that came in, traditional knife-wise this week, from Rosecraft, the Sakatchee River Muskrat. Actually, this came in, yeah, this just came in this week, actually. So this was from the Pass Around group, and this was actually the one I get to keep from the Pass Around group. I'm the final one to get this one. And I have a full video coming out, but this is amazing. So if I can get it open. The sound of that. And this is a full 3-inch blade, full-size handle. And the fit and finish on this is just unbelievable. 2 blades. What do you guys think? Kind of cool. The action, I mean the walk and talk and the half stop is amazing on this. This is like, you have to really press down on that to get it to move. So with that, you know, you could feel safe in using it. It's, the walk and talk is amazing. Oh yeah, on the little yeah, and the little Rough Rider. Yeah, $10, you just can't beat that. These are a lot more. But like I said, this was part of the Pass Around group. This was my reward for doing all the Rosecraft videos, which, as you guys know, I love Rosecraft. I love their traditional knives. I love their modern knives. And now I love the fixed blade knives as well. Yeah, I'm looking forward to those, Rebel. You know, I know they're not live yet on the site. They are on the site, but they're not live yet to order. But I mean, they look exactly like the Rosecraft blades that I saw, you know. And I love these little leather, slips for the slip joints. Um, yeah, I know they're not live, but they look fantastic. Oh, you did get one at the show. That's awesome. Which colorway did you go with? Because the one I love is the albaline handles, or the yeah. See, I had a feeling that was going to be one because I think that one's going to sell out as soon as they go on sale to the public. So, but I also love the red handle one. Just man, those look really great, and I think it's a good way for because I've been reluctant to buy any of the Jack Wolf stuff. I know it's great, but it's so expensive. Yes, I know abalone. I know, but I know, Jen. But I know I said it wrong. But what are you gonna do, right? But like I said, I've been reluctant to get Jack Wolf because of the pricing. It's insane, in my opinion. And I know they make great stuff, so I'm not saying it's not worth it, but it's way beyond the price point I want to pay for that style of a knife, you know. And I think this, as the name implies, is a gateway into getting into their lines. Yeah, Joe, that's what we're talking about. The Gateway Barlow by Jack Wolf. They look fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So, and I know Jack Wolf makes some amazing quality stuff. So let's just move that slightly. Hopefully, it doesn't fall off the stand. Yeah, there we go. Oh, by the way, if anybody who's been here a lot, if you notice, my lights in the back aren't rotating. Something happened. The motor went on one of the disco lights, so it's only flashing now and it's not spinning. So I don't know if people like that better or not, but you know. Oh, that's okay, Joe. There's a lot going on. Cicero, what's up, my friend? How are you? I'm glad everybody's here tonight. Everybody's doing well. The Blue Bone, the carbon fiber. Yeah, the carbon fiber. I don't know if I like the carbon fiber. I was looking at it. The problem with the carbon fiber is I think of carbon fiber more on newer, more modern knives as opposed to a traditional slip joint. Yeah, Joe, and that's why I like the new Gateway because it's an affordable knife, and what I like too is that it's a 14C28 as opposed to a D2. Not that I have anything wrong with D2 because I like D2 a lot. You know. By the way, I'm waiting for Lou to pop in. So Loser, he usually pops in on my lives, and we always have fun going back and forth. But um, I have a knife here that I did a short on yesterday, just because I know Lou hates it. Actually, Lou doesn't hate it. Oh, there's Lou. Hello, Lou. Lou, look, it's your favorite knife. Look at that. Just so you guys know, I love Lou. He's awesome. He's always supporting the channel and he's always in the lives. But we have some back and forth sometimes. Nothing bad, just some fun banter. And he was saying on this is the Malaya or the Malaya from CJRB, designed by Swags, and he doesn't like it because of the way it's cut out here and on this side, and that he feels like the liner lock creates a hot spot. But for me, I don't feel it. Like the way my finger just fits in there, I honestly don't feel it. And we've been joking. He says I have lobster claw hands. So, but I happen to love this little knife. I mean, this is great. It goes into my micro EDC kit, you know. And Lou, I was telling my wife about that earlier today, about how you talking about my lobster hands. So you're kind of living rent free right there. But I love this little guy, you know. And I think it originally came up because Swags designed one of the new Rosecraft fixed blades as well. The front flipper works really well on this too, by the way. So I don't know. I like this one. Like I said, it just fits in my micro EDC kit. In fact, you guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm just going to go grab it. It's right in the other room because I took that out to get the knife out. There it is. So, all right, I'm coming back. I'm coming back. So this is a little micro EDC kit that I have. I'm talking about little. You know, it's made by Zero Feud. This pouch, by the way, Zero Feud, made in USA. $20 for these pouches. They're just awesome. But I love it because this knife fits perfect right here next to my Gerber dime. If I can get it in there. There we go. So it fits perfect right next to the Gerber dime. And yes, everything in this kit is red. So, hey, Cannon, what's going on, buddy? So that's also the reason why I bought it in red. I know you commented on that, but everything in here is red. Flashlight, red. Emergency whistle with a red lanyard. Let's see what else is in here. That's red. We've got Swiss Army knife in red. A white pen, red. And of course, we've got the Gerber dime in red. And then behind it, there's a whole bunch of other stuff. There's medicines in here. There's a survival guide, micro survival guide, first aid kit, all kinds of stuff. So, and then you have here this carabiner that comes on and off. And this has a ferro rod right there, so you can make sparks with that. And I also put a glow bead on here. So it's just a great little kit. Like sometimes I just don't know where I'm going to be, so I just always want a little micro EDC / survival kit, you know. And yeah. Oh, and then on the other side, I do have pry bar with a screwdriver attachment. This is a SOG, I believe. Right? Is this SOG? Yeah, I think this is SOG. No, CRKT. So, but that's why I have that little what you call it, that small little knife, because it fits perfect in this kit. So, there you go. Hope that explains it. Neil McKenzie, what's up, brother? How you doing today? So, speaking of small knives, something else came in. There might have been a red cape, you know, but no vapes for me. I don't do any type of smoking at all. But so this is a great little knife that came in. This is the Demko Arminger 2. So this little sheath, neck knife, or like I use as a pocket dropper. I've got the Ulti clip on there. You guys can see that. So you got the Ulti clip. What makes this work so well, one, Ulti clips are just really great. But if you look at this sheath, and I showed this, I actually did a video on this, video. There are lines or grooves that are into here. Those are for the Ulti clip, because the Ulti clip is curved on the edges, so that locks it in with one screw. So now you've got this knife that could be a little pocket dropper or a neck knife, and it's the Demko. It's got this rubberized, so it's real grippy, even though it's small. I did add a lanyard to it just so I could hold it with all 4 fingers, because for me, it's like a 2.5 finger grip, not a full even 3 finger. But if you happen to drop it, it's easy to find with a lanyard on it, you know. What's great about teeth, though, extras, the right or left. Absolutely, Lou. I did, yep. So, Video went wonky. Why is the video wonky? It shouldn't be going. So our internet's screwing. Hopefully it fixes itself because I don't know. Let me know if the video is getting sabotage. You optimum. Oh. So something else that came in, and then we'll go back to talking about Bladeshow in a few minutes. All right. Let me know if the video is okay, guys, because my wife is saying the video has gone wonky. But I don't know if it has or not. I can't tell. But something else that came in is a fixed blade, a little bit bigger of a fixed blade from a company called Reet. Reet makes these, they make knives in like a lot of different price ranges, but this one was ridiculous. I had to order it just for the price alone to see if it's any type of decent. And okay, good. All right, Bill, perfect. So this is a fixed blade from Reet. This was, oh, let's check it out. This is a big sized fixed blade. And it's got this weird kind of shape to it. I don't get what all this is back here. Maybe someone knows better than me. But, I mean, I guess you could use that to open bottles. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But it's got a big size handle. It's fairly comfortable. And it's got some really great jimping here on the handle. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's an FRN handle, but you've got this kind of glass breaker attachment here. Maybe, but and the blade steel isn't great. It's a 440C blade steel, but and it's got a nylon sheath, which is okay at best. But here's the thing. This knife comes in at the major price point of $5.99. $6. It's a heavy bugger too. So I haven't put it through any type of cut test or anything yet, which we can do. I have paper here. But let's see. Oh, it's sharp. Let's see. Yeah, it's sharp. That's a cutter, man. $6. Yeah. $6 on Amazon. And it's by Reet. Now, they've got some higher quality knives out there as well. And I always thought it was funny because, I think they were trying to have people mistake them for Riot. But 440C, it's not a great steel, but for a knife that you could throw in your car, in your pack, secondary backup for camping and bushcrafting, $5. What the hell? Why not? So that's just something else that came in. As opposed to this fixed blade that came in. This took me a while to get. This is the off-grid sidekick. Now, that's a beast of an EDC knife. And I'll tell you why I say it's a beast. Look at the thickness of that handle. To put that in perspective, let's grab something from down here. So, this is the NAFS Lander 4. Great EDC fixed blade. But hey, Ron, Yes, we do like to talk with our hands. But look at how thin the handle is on that compared to that. And I understand the different size blades, but this, no, this is actually, Lou, if you watch Gideon's Tactical, he did a full rundown on this. And he's convinced this is one of the best fixed blades out there. And after watching him with all the tests he put it through, I happen to agree. And man, but look at the heft of that handle. And mind you, these come in at like $79. It's a 1428 end blade steel. But man, that is freaking cool. Now, I haven't cut anything with it yet. So, hey Jay, what's going on, buddy? Welcome into the chat. So let's see. Damn flashlight. Oh my God. Yep, that's sharp. No doubt. Yeah. Yeah, I got it on the sale as well. Not this sale though. They had another sale. Oh no, I'm sorry. It wasn't a sale. I got sent a discount code from them. And I used my discount code when I ordered it. But Lou, check out Gideon's Tactical. He does a really thorough review of this, and man, this thing is great. Except for one thing. I hate, and I say it, hate the clip on this. The reason why I hate the clip, it's functional. You can scout carry it. You can, side carry it. You could flip that around. Actually, you can't flip that around. I don't think you can. Well, maybe you can. Yeah. Yeah, you can actually. But it's not all that heavy. I mean, yeah, it is heavy, but I shouldn't say it's not heavy. But it's not too bad. But I hate that clip. And the reason why I hate it is look how far it sits off the sheath. So that's going to be coming off of here. That's my only complaint about this. Right now it's functional. I tried to scout carry this the other day, and it was just so uncomfortable because of how far it sat off my back. But I don't know. I really like this guy, So those are some things that came in. What else came in? Let's take a look. A couple more things. Not a lot. Like I said, not a lot came in. I did get some stuff sent to me by some of the vendors, but I haven't done videos on it yet, so I really don't want to kind of throw it out there yet. I actually like Nitro V. I know, again, that's one of those steels. It's very mixed. I think it has to be done right, but Nitro V is a good, well-rounded steel that rates. It's a mid-range steel. It's not a bargain steel, and it's not a super high-end, but it's a good mid-range steel. I put it right up there with 154, 1428. But that's me. I don't have a problem. In fact, I kind of like Nitro V. I think I have Nitro V right here on, yeah, this Militar is Nitro V. And this is one of the best knives I own, period. But I like it. I've had a lot of luck with Nitro V. Is it Magna Cut? No. But Lou, I think you're looking at different stats than I am. I've never seen it score that low. But Um, that depends on your budget, honestly. I mean, one of my I wouldn't say, yeah, I want to say it's one of the Grail knives for me is one of the premium Militars. I think they're just amazing. But I've got two of the budget Militars in the Nitro V, and I just they're great knives. I would have no problem getting it, you know. But I mean, fit and finish is really great. Everything about this is just really great. The only thing I would change is I would have them extend the jimping out a little bit, but no, you're right. You're right. It is a three, but you know what? I don't know. Here's the thing, and I've said this before, and I've said this to Lou. It all depends. If you're using the same knife every day, yeah, I could see the edge retention being a big deal. But if you're like me and I switch knives literally every single day, I never carry a knife more than once in a month. And I know not everybody's like me. Hey, Henry G, I know not everybody has as many knives as I do, and not everybody switches them out like I do. But I literally carry a different knife every day. So I'm never going to wear out my blades like that. So I'm more concerned about, toughness, and I'm more concerned about corrosion resistance. And even that corrosion resistance to me is not a big deal because D2 is amazing to me, you know. But like I said, I switch out blades every day. I mean, I'll have a Spyderco, Manix 2 lightweight. Then I'll carry the Para 3 lightweight, and I just switch up. And I have been digging Spydercos more than ever. I love my Spydercos, by the way. You know, it's everybody's got their own opinion on steels, and even and here's the thing: like everybody wants to bow down to Laren Thomas and Knife Nerd, his site, but here's the thing I'm going to tell you. He says the best rating for MagnaCut is between 60 and 64. But Crucible themselves tell you that it's supposed to be between 60 and 60. I'm sorry, it's supposed to be between 58 and 60. Wait, so what he's saying is he prefers it, he says it's better at 60 to 64, but the company that makes it, although not anymore, but the company that basically invented it and made it is telling you it should be between 50 and 60. Who do I believe? Who do I believe on that? I don't know. I know Laren Thomas is very respected, and I respect him. I actually go, like everybody else, I go to his site and look at it often in comparing blade steels. You know, Metal Complex did a great video, and I know everybody's a big fan of Metal Complex, although I don't know. People say they don't like him, but yet he has 750,000 subscribers. So, but he did a great video where he broke down his rankings of the blade steels. And I actually use that a lot because I really respect the way he broke it down. And I actually screenshotted his chart that he had. And I keep that on my phone at all times. So like sometimes when I just need a quick lookup, like if it's a steel I never came across and I don't really want to go into heavy reading on it, I'll just look up where he has it on the chart. Like, all right, I get it. I know his chart is a little bit different than what some other people think, but it is useful. I really loved his. Well, and see Rebel Rouser, and that's the whole thing. What are you going for? Edge retention or toughness? I think if it's going to be on a bushcrafting style outdoor knife, I want the toughness because you're going to use it, and the edge retention is not as important. But for EDC, yeah, you want to get it higher because of the edge retention. I don't know. It's a rough one, but that's the whole thing. You got to weigh how you're going to use the knife too. Yeah, he's been wrong about certain things. He was talking. He posted a video today, and on the Benchmade Adira, and he was like, I could clearly tell he never did the research on it. Because he was talking about it, talking about, well, why is this better? Why is it better for water? And this, it's pretty simple why it was better for water. One, you have the FRN handles. They use a stainless steel, even though it's a short liner. It's a stainless steel short liner. It's a Magna cut. He was worried about the Omega springs, but metal complex, Cosmin metal complex. He's got a good channel. He just sometimes he can get on people's nerves because he does come off, or he pushes everything like he's the authority on everything, you know. But I do enjoy his channel. Mm. Now, if you talk to Ron Crow's got the premium version of the Militar, and that's his just all-time favorite knife. And I have a tendency to really like that knife as well. I just haven't wanted to pony up the money for it. You know, what I may do is sell some knives off and get one of those. And in fact, I am considering selling a bunch of knives soon. Because my collection's growing way out of hand, and I don't need, like, a lot of them I've already done reviews on, and I don't carry. Not because they're not good, but just you can only carry so many knives. Yeah, I mean, a lot of what his reviews are less fact based than opinion. There are certain things he doesn't like. You know, where I think when you get a review from, say, Neves, it's a more fact based review. But yeah, yeah. See, Rebel Rouse, I want the DLC coated with the 80s camel carbon. I love that knife, but it's really pretty, Rebel Cicero, very pretty. You know, but I went with this one because I wanted the bright colors. But as you guys know from previous videos and talking about it, these party streamers were on the olive green, and I swapped them to make, because this had um, the olive inserts. So I made one knife that's completely olive green, and I made this one with the colorways. But now I'm going to swap these handles onto the black bladed version. Yeah, very true, Ron. Very true. Oh, Lou, did you hear about, speaking of Jared in the bed stop pin placement, you heard a little bit about the controversy about the Buster, huh? I don't know if you heard about what's going on with that. Sinex responded to Jared in a set of videos and posts on Instagram, basically showing how even though the stop pin hits, it actually doesn't affect sharpening. So that's kind of interesting. Now I want to see what Neves has to say, uh, in retaliation to that, or as a, not necessarily retaliation, that's a wrong word, but in response. You know, yeah. See it. There you go. Neves is a guy who knows his stuff, but was just kind of proven wrong. So it's one of those things. I mean, you know, we all have our own opinions on this stuff. I don't think anybody's 100% right or wrong. There are so many things I don't know about knives that when I say things, I could be wrong because I just don't necessarily have the knowledge base. Now I try to educate myself as much as possible. I'm an intense reader of all things and watching videos, you know. See, Ron, and that's good to know because you have both. I don't have the premium. I want the premium, but I don't think it's going to be in the cards. Not unless I sell a bunch of stuff off and, you know, some other knives off, and which is like I said, I'm considering doing like a whatnot auction soon. But you know, I'm sure you guys will be able to get some bargains on there when I do that. I'm not gonna beat people over the head, especially for some stuff that was, I'm kind of reluctant to sell stuff that was given to the channel. Um, I basically want to sell the stuff that I bought on my own. The stuff that was given to the channel, I don't feel necessarily. I know Big Red was talking about this. It's kind of a moral thing. Like it was given to you. Do you want to profit off of it? You know, I don't know. I don't know where the line is in that. But I have so many other knives that I may put up. Hey, Rebel Rouser, that's the whole thing. They shaved off 4 millimeters of material and didn't have a problem. So that's actually not true. Neves was proven wrong on that. Go to Snex's Instagram and check out what was posted. Um, you know, it's not the best look, but it actually didn't affect anything. It just didn't affect anything. Like I said, they took off 4 millimeters of material, which no one in their lifetime is going to take 4 millimeters of material off a blade. Just not going to happen. But, you know, and of course we have the controversy out there between Hawk and Microtech that hit this week. Did they totally steal the idea? No, it's going to be in the hands of the courts now. We'll see how that fight works out. But yeah. What else came in this week? Oh well, we got the little USA flashlight, American flag themed flashlight from Olight. Well, Rebel, you don't have to agree, but they did it. They took 4 millimeters off of it and didn't have the problem. So, I don't know. I would go, Cicero, I would go full size Militar because honestly, I like bigger knives. Even though I have smaller knives, I like bigger knives. And to me, the mini Militar is small. That's different, Lou. That's restaurant use, different types of steels. But yeah, no, it's you're not going to take 4 millimeters off. I'm sorry, you're just not. I don't care what you say. You're not taking 4 millimeters off a blade. Probably not in a lifetime, unless you're using that blade every day and it's your only blade. But let's be honest, no one's doing that. None of us are doing that. Most people who are using one blade for a long time, believe it or not, are buying budget blades. I just, you're not going to take 4 millimeters off. No way, no how. But that's, it's all debatable. Exactly. 4 millimeter is a chunk. It's not, you know, speaking of chunks, I've shown you guys this knife before, but this is This is one of my off grids that I absolutely love. And man, this is a chunker of a knife. Ooh, 10 to 20 years, it's normal, but who's using a blade for 10 to 20 years? I mean, I can't even tell you, other than a couple of Swiss Army knives, what blades I had 20 years ago, even 10 years ago. You know, the collection's completely evolved. Oh, that would be cool. A larger version of the Military. I'd like to see that. You know, have you any of you guys gone to the Drop Bear website where they do the custom Kaisers? They've got, but Lou, are you carrying the same blade every day, or are you swapping blades out? I mean, you're a knife guy. I can't see you just using one knife, you know, forever. As far as EDC knives, I'm not talking about like chef knives or things like that. That's different. But I love this off grid knife. I don't know if you guys are fans of off grid, but I've become big fans of off grid. And mainly because G-Bulb, because he is always talking about how great off grid is. And once I tried off grid, I was like very convinced. But that's just me. All right, 17 people here. Oh, 15. Come on now, guys. Wow, we've been on almost an hour already. It's kind of cool. This is becoming fun. Well, Cicero, that you could do that. Let's it's what is the link? Because I'm doing this on my phone, I can't really post the link. That's the only problem with just using my phone and not going through like StreamYard or something. It's I can't really post a link, can I? I don't think I can. I don't know what these buttons do here. Let's see. No, don't want to do that. No, no, don't want that. Boy. Yeah, I don't think I can do that. But it's actually I think it's just dropbear.com, and it is a subsidiary of Kaiser, but they do limited run knives there. Like right now, they have a series of movie knives, and they're movie themed. They had around Thanksgiving time. I'm not Thanksgiving time, but around St. Patty's Day, they did the Clover series. Yeah, the Stinger's a nice knife. In fact, I think I want that to go as the companion knife to this one. But and do you guys do that? I do that a lot where I have knives where I have a fixed blade and I try and match it up with a EDC knife, you know, whether it be colorway or brand or whatever, you know, do kind of companion stuff. So this is a fixed blade that I absolutely love, and this is the Kaiser Buddy. And I know, Lou, you hated the acrylic handle one, but this is the micarta in the ABL steel. Yeah, okay. I know I'm not the only one who does that, you know, but this is such a fun little EDC knife, fixed blade. This is probably the one I carry the most, even more than my TCAL, you know, and I love my TCAL. I love the TCAL. Such a great EDC knife. And by the way, this is the reason why, like, I really liked Melissa Backwood's TCAL, but it's literally the same size. It's just a Warncliffe. It's the exact same handle. So there was no reason for me to ever get that knife. It's kind of a redundancy. Where I think the drop point on this is actually really, really nice. I mean, I like this one a lot. But this is probably my second most carried small fixie. And then the other one is this one by Waxed Wing. And I met these guys at the Lehigh Valley Blade Show. And I had to have this one, made in USA. Of course, it's everybody's favorite steel. It's Nitro V. But awesome. Really, really awesome. So this is probably the number 3 carried fixed blade. And then this one is another fixed blade that I carry a lot. This is a Watchman and Nessmuck style blade. I love Nessmuck style blades. And this is a great knife. These come in at like $29 or so. And 14C28N blade steel. Really nice handle, really comfortable. And great jimping right up here. So you can really choke up on that. Have a good night, Bill. Thanks for hanging out. Appreciate it. And I'll text you during the week. So really nice. I don't know if you guys have checked out any of the Watchman knives, but definitely really cool. And then what else do I carry a lot? Oh, since I got this one like 2 weeks ago, I've been carrying this a lot. And this is the Kaiser Groom. And this one I just carry because it's kind of wicked looking. It's only a D2 steel. And you got a nice little choke up point there. But kind of really cool looking, kind of like very modernist. I don't know if modernist is the word, but Oh, I love the Nessmuck style blades. It's one of my favorites. And then I've been carrying this one as well, but with a different type of clip setup on there. And this is the other Kaiser Buddy. And this is the one I won directly from Kaiser. This is the one I won on their Twitter contest. So I would not have picked the clear acrylic handles, but when you win the Kaiser contest, they select them at random and send them to you. Although the paw print, even though I know some people dislike it, they get really kind of cool. But so those kind of, those are what I've been carrying. Let's see what else. Yeah, and of course, like I said, the Lander 4. And this was one of the Blem models. So I don't know if you can see on there the blade, but you've got the smile because it was a Blem. So, and this is S35VN. So really good blade steel. I have been very lucky, Lou. I'm not going to lie. I've been very lucky. And think about it. I won 2 more contests that I actually didn't get the prize for because I missed. You guys, Rob's Nerdy Knives, not this past Monday, but the Monday prior, he had a late drawing, and I won it. But unfortunately, I fell asleep, so I couldn't say I was there. So I missed out on that. And then Tri-State had a giveaway, and I was picked in that one. But unfortunately, my stream was like 10 minutes behind, and I didn't realize it. So by the time I was able to say I'm here, it was too late. He had moved on and picked somebody else. So there should have been 2 more, but I've been very lucky. And I'm grateful for that. I've won one of Legion Steel's knife giveaways, Aries EDC, Gareth. I just won his over the weekend. I won Tactical Llama. I won one of his knife giveaways. And Zach's stuff, I won one of his. His was the first one I actually ever won. So I've been lucky. Oh, awesome, Joe. I don't even want to know what I possibly could have won because I don't want to be like kicking myself. But yeah, those things happen. I'm not gonna cry. I mean, it's stuff I would have been gifted. It's not like but You can get my Carter Black Blade. Dragon, which knife is that you can get for 58? I'm just curious. I missed that part of it. So, guys, just so everybody knows, I am getting very close to being monetized. I have the subscribers. What I don't have is the watch hours. We're getting close, but we're not there yet. And it's so weird. Like, I don't, you know, got you, Joe. You know, um, I would love if you guys could just do me a favor. When you're kind of around the house, if you could throw one of my playlists up and just let it play in the background, I would greatly appreciate it. I need to get those watch hours up. You know, I put out, you guys know, 5 to 6 days a week. I put out short videos, and I try to put out 3 long form videos. And I don't get it. I have, close to 1,300 subscribers, yet my long form videos don't do well. My short form videos do really well, you know? So I don't know if you guys just prefer my short form videos. Like someone in the comments said today, oh, wow. Huh. Nice. Very nice. So somebody said in the comments that they really liked my short form videos because they were just nice little overviews of the knives without all the music in the background. Well, that's a good punishment. Watching my videos. I don't, sure, sure. I'll take it whichever way I can get it, whether it's penance or, whatever the punishment, whatever, whatever. I'll take it all. I appreciate all the videos you watch, all the likes and the comments. I appreciate that stuff so much. It actually makes it fun to do these videos and stuff, you know. And I become kind of a little obsessed with it. Like I'll post a video, and then like every like 20 minutes I'm going in to look. Boom. Oh, I got more views, got more likes, and if you guys know, I always respond to comments. You know. Oh, by the way, that was something. By the way, with this little Demco knife, this little Demco was dull out of the box. Um, it didn't want to cut anything. And let's see. I really just did a little bit of a touch up on it, but I haven't really even tested it since I did that. I kind of did it quick. Well, yeah, I knew you'd love that video, Lou. And that video really seriously was done just for you. So let's see. Yeah, no, this thing is dull. I'm gonna have to really sharpen this, like spend some time on it. So, which is a shame because it's a Demco, and I don't expect Demcos to be dull out of the box. I can't even cut paper with that, you know. But I'm gonna have to definitely spend some time sharpening that. I'll probably do it later while I'm sitting on the couch watching TV after this. William, what's up, my friend? Went on a little bit earlier tonight than usual. Now that MPG is going on at 7, I'm going to probably go on at 10 each week instead of 11. You know, figure that way, give some other people some opportunity to come and hang out. You know. Oh, I appreciate that, William. Any support I get, I appreciate. You know. But yeah, so guys, if you guys could just do me that favor at some point, just hit one of my playlists and just let it play through, but not the shorts because they don't count. They count towards subscribers, and views, but they don't count towards watch hours. You know. Oh, I love MPG, man. She makes me laugh. She's just a blast to hang out in there. I mean, I was in there earlier. I didn't really talk much. I just said hello at the end and whatnot. But um, sometimes I just sit there and work because the jokes going back and forth on her stream are just hysterical sometimes. You know, I thoroughly enjoy her live streams. Dragoon, how do you like the Nice Guy? I mean, it's a real budget knife, and it looks pretty cool. But I've not bought one, and that's strange to me because I own more Kaisers than any other knife brand. So, but it's always seemed a little small for me. Like, because I'm not going to put that in like some of my small knives are purpose because they're like you said for the kit. But and I have a few of those. But overall, is the Nice Guy a decent knife? I mean, I've heard people say good things about it, but I've never had one in my hands yet. It's one of those things. It's one of the ones where I have it in my wish list, but for some reason, every time I go to buy, I pick something different other than that. And I don't know. I don't know why I do that a lot. Like there are knives that I look at and I'm like, I really want it. I really, really want it, but I never get around to buying it. One of them is the Spyderco Bowfin, the fixed blade. I really like that knife, and it's been in my wish list for like over a year, and I never pulled the trigger on it. You know, and I think it's a cool looking knife. Yeah, I would go for the Rich Light. I love Kaiser's red Rich Light. I have it on the Kaiser Assassin. I think it's the Assassin, and I think it's just awesome. Dan Stan, welcome in, buddy. Glad to see you here. But yeah, I probably need to get myself one of those. Yeah, I know they're dirt cheap. Hey, Kelly. Kelly jumped on early. Just to let you know, he jumped on early tonight. Probably gonna. This is probably gonna be the time I'm going on now. Is gonna be 10 o'clock instead of 11. Now that MPG is going on at 7, so it freed up the 10 o'clock slot. I just think it's a little bit better for a lot of people because going from 11 to 1 in the morning, even on myself, it's kind of rough when I have to get up for work the next morning. So yeah, I know. Kelly's always struggling to stay awake through it, you know. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do from now on. I think going forward, it's going to be a 10 o'clock start. You know, any of you guys watch any of Barbie or Caleb's videos going down to Bladeshow? I had fun watching them while they were driving down. Let's see what we got there. What, what did I miss? Mm. Boominati. Oh, I'm so glad you're here, buddy. I am so glad you're here. If somebody can do me a favor and post Boominati's GoFundMe link because him and Twisted Sis, they're some of the best people in this community, and we we should all really try and help them out. They've helped all of us a ton, you know. So I'm glad you're here, Blue. So Blue, how are you in Twisted Sis holding up? I know it's stressful, and I'm just happy you guys. Thanks, Lou. I appreciate that. I'm just glad you guys have been joining in the lives and whatnot. Hopefully, taking your mind off of some of the things. Hopefully, we can, kind of entertain you. You know, but big point. The big thing is that you guys are safe, and the dogs are safe. It was really funny too. Not that it was funny; it was kind of tragic. But I was talking to you on Instagram, and then all of a sudden you answered me back to tell me what had happened. I was like, "Oh my god!" I couldn't believe it. But kind of puts all that other petty nonsense in perspective. You know. Oh, nice, nice Dragoon. Oh, you need a wrench. I'm sorry. Hold on, William. You definitely get a wrench. Uh, moderator. There you go. Sorry, William. I thought you had a wrench. And by the way, guys, share your channels. Even though I know probably all of us follow each other already, but if you want, hey Stacy, I appreciate that. Appreciate you stopping in. And Stacy, just so you know, I was just telling Kelly, I'm not going on at 11 o'clock anymore. Starting this week, it's going to be 10 o'clock each week. So if you want to join in, I won't be on as late. But thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it, Stacy. You're awesome. Yeah, Dragoon, those are some nice choices there. You know what I've been doing the last week or so, because I'm just spent money wise. I can't really spend too much more money at all, especially on knives right now. And I'm just happy that I have some knives to review still that have come my way. But I'm like broke. So what I've been doing is, because I still want some knives. I've been looking at knives that are on clearance, and like I got the Civivi Hadros on its way, and that's a Dylan Mallory design, and I can't wait to get that because I love the other Dylan Mallory design that I have, the one he did with CJRB. So now this is the Civivi. I can't wait to get that. Yes, yes, Legion Steel does have the raffle going on. So, yep. Marshall and Marissa just jump in and help all the time. Two more rock solid people in the community. You know, and I'm glad people are coming together. You know, for Twisted Sis and Boominati. Those guys are great. The Gecko Custom Picks. Mm. If you guys were watching Aries earlier, which I think most of you were, Tuesday night at 6 o'clock, he's got a drop of 6 knives. So if anybody is looking for an Aries, that's the time. Jump on it. Don't wait. I don't have the money right now, otherwise I would have jumped on it. But yeah, if you guys are looking for an Aries knife, 6 o'clock Tuesday night on his Etsy store, they're going live. Guarantee you they're going to be there for 2 minutes and they're all going to be gone. Just quick enough for people to put them in their cart and pay. So I, I I'm seriously waiting for the Kubi Bloom to come back into stock, because it gets me into an Aries design without spending big money on it. You know. Oh, absolutely. Joe, I know a couple of custom knife makers who do really good work, and most of them are working out of a little shop in their garage. In fact, I have a custom knife coming to me that I have to go back to the guy's shop and talk to him. Um, I'm actually going to be filming at his shop. We couldn't film yet because he's also a motorcycle guy, and there was no room to actually film in his shop in the winter because all his bikes were stored in there. So now that the summer's coming, the bikes are going to move out, and I'm gonna go over there and pick up the knife he's doing for me, as well as film his whole process. But and he's a guy making young guy who's making knives in Pennsylvania, doing a really good job. And yeah, so he actually is measuring me up for my hands, so that way he can make the perfect size knife in perfect shape, and he's going to kind of make it to my specs. So, well, not only that, Lou, the price of the bloom on Kubi's website is $80, where if you get it at um, White Mountain, I think it's what, 59, $60. So yeah, everybody, let's support Kelly's channel. 100%. Kelly supports all of us. But yeah, definitely, Lou, you're right. The shipping is crazy, and it's. I noticed the Kubies are higher priced on their website than you can get them at like White Mountain. So also too, if you guys like Casey's design, the uh, the Dust Devil, I think is only like $59 right now on White Mountain. They have it in the clearance section, and it's one of the ones that if you drop it, it's in the Kubi clearance section. So if you drop it into the cart, it actually lowers the price even more. So you can get a really good deal on the Dust Devil, the Kubi, the one designed by Casey. What knife did you win, Dragoon? That he's making the sheath for? Oh, speaking of sheaths, that's something. Oh, definitely, Kelly. I will definitely take a look. I am a Kydex sheath guy. I don't like leather sheaths. I don't like nylon sheaths. And I know some people love leather sheaths, but I don't. I've actually seen knives come through leather sheaths. Lou, that's exactly what I was thinking, you know. Um, but I want Dylan to make me um, Dylan EDC. He does all the fat carbon scales. I want him to do camel carbon scales for the boom. But yeah, you're reading my mind, right? Boom. It's like you took that right out of my head. So, but then again, I thought about it. I'm like, all right, so $60 for the Kubi Bloom and then $100 for scales. Well, I just might as well. 100% Cicero. I prefer taco sheaths. Yep, those are my favorite by far. You know, that's what's nice about this off grid. Even though it's a bigger knife, it's still a taco sheath. That is the T-Cal though is not. It's kind of a, but it's a small sheath. Mm. Yeah, I need to talk to. I need to talk to Aries. I need to get into some of these pass around groups for his knives because I'm not. I'm in a lot of pass around groups, but not his. So, but then I don't think I was on his radar until recently. Even though I watching his channel for a long time, but after I won the giveaway, we talked a bit. So maybe I can get in on one of those. By the way, that's the great thing about this aftermarket sheath too. For for the Mora knife, it's a taco sheath. You know, but I just can't stand leather sheaths. That's true. It is a T-Cal. You know, when I first got this was so tight in the sheath. I literally had to like pull it out, like force it out, and then it broke in after like just a couple of days of pulling it in and out of the sheath, and now it's perfect. But man, it was so tight. I even talked to Tim Kell about it, and in our Patreon, I messaged him, and he was like, "Yeah, well, if you need to, just send it back." I was like, "No, I think it'll work its way out," but it was so tight, you know. Oh, nice, nice, very cool. You know, it's cool. Like we all want to support Aries because he's in our community, and I agree with that 100%. That's why I want to get one of the blooms. But there are so many great knife makers. When I went to the Lehigh Valley show, there were so many guys who were making fantastic, really fantastic, knives. Most of them fixed blades. Aren't a lot of, and there are some, but there aren't a ton of custom knife makers who do folders. There are some though. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check out. I'm gonna have to check out American Blade Works. I've looked at their site a couple of times, but I couldn't remember what they have and what they don't. You know, a lot of times I get sticker shock when I hit certain websites, and I'm just like, nope, I'll pass because I have to be realistic with myself as to like what I want to spend on. You know, this channel, as much as it's fun, it's cost me a lot of money. So, which, all you guys who have channels, I'm sure it's the same way for all of you. You know, actually, Cicero. All right, Cicero, I just made you a mod. What did I miss, Dan? Oh, really? Yeah, they do. Kubi does a Kubi is such an underrated company. Um, I don't understand why. I mean, so many of us know Kubi, but I don't think there's a buzz around Kubi like there should be. Another company I don't think there's enough of a buzz about is QSP. I mean, QSP does an amazing job with their knives. I have never had a bad QSP knife. I mean, from design point, from build quality, they've all been fantastic. Same thing with my Kubis. But did any of you guys who went down to Bladeshow, get to experience the Rosecraft fixed blades? I have. I did a review on the first on the FO3, and I really liked it. That's the one designed by Swags. I have the O2 coming to me. It's actually supposed to be here tomorrow. We have that in the pass around group. I'm sending out the. Well, sorry. Yeah, I'm sending out the one that I just reviewed onto the next person. But oh, really? Huh. Oh, Cicero, you're a good dude, and you're here all the time, and you're a supporter of the channel. So definitely want you as a mod. You know, by the way, I want everybody who has a channel to be mods as well. So if you have a channel and I didn't make you a mod, just remind me, and I'll make you a mod because I want everybody to share their channels. I want to see us all grow together. All of us smaller channels. I want to see us all get big together. It'd be great. Hey, Lou, speaking of which, the Blue Wrench, I like that, the Blue Wrench Society. But speaking of which, I'm trying to come up, like I said, I'm close to monetization. And when I start the memberships, I was thinking we could have the Adventurers Guild. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that a pretty cool name? And we can have different levels of the adventurers, you know, based on time or whatever. I'm not going to make my memberships very expensive, probably just $1, maybe two for premium. I don't know. But yeah, I was thinking it would be the Adventurers Guild, which goes along with my Dungeons and Dragons playing for years. So yesterday, we tried to do a live with Ron Crow, Titanium Justin, and myself, and unfortunately, we had so many technical problems. And I think we're going to try that hopefully next week again, Ron, right? But at one point, nobody could hear anybody but me. And me and Justin were kind of fanning out knives, almost like we were playing cards. And we were joking about how we were raising each other. Yes, you can, Dan. Absolutely. I thought you were one already. And now, Dan, you have a wrench. Hey, Louie, welcome in. So we were just joking around, and I was like, yes, I've got this. So I don't know if anybody else has swords, but this is my Excalibur sword. I really want to sharpen this puppy up. It's got a decently sharp blade, but I never really bothered to sharpen it too much because this is something I wear in costume to the Renaissance Fair. But I think I should start doing videos like Addicted to Blades where I go outside and just slice things up. Ah, Ron, you know what? Even though it didn't go well, I'm not gonna lie, I had a lot of fun. So we'll get it right next week. We'll figure something out. I'll talk to you during the week about that. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. But the problem is, if we did the hog tier, those people would just be broken down on the side of the road and have to be wrenching. Oh, did I just say that out loud? Oh, sorry. It's true though. Good night, Dragoon. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out. But yeah, yeah. I'm sorry. As a guy who rode cruisers for years, um, every time I've been out on a bike trip, and I'm talking about like a long trip, whether it be going from Pennsylvania down to Bike Week in South Carolina, or going up to Lake George, or going out to York, PA, and that kind of stuff. I always rode Hondas and Yamahas. Every trip I have been on, and this is not a lie or an exaggeration, somebody with a Harley broke down, and we had to stop the trip so that way we can get to a shop so that way they could get parts to fix it along the way. I just don't know what it is. But every trip that I have been on a long trip, and been on a bunch, the Harley has broken down every single time. And it's not one Harley, it's different people's Harleys. And yet, when I first started riding, I had a 23-year-old Yamaha that I was riding, and everybody laughed at it. Yet, I never broke down. Oh, yeah, absolutely, Joe. You know, I still have a Yamaha, 1984 Yamaha Virago, right? It was the first Japanese V-twin cruiser to ever hit the US. So 1984, you guys do the math, and to this day doesn't drop a drop of oil. Starts up every time. The only thing I've ever had to do was change the solenoid. Obviously, other than maintenance and tires and that sort of thing. Nice. Cicero, speaking of which, when my grandfather on my mother's side came back from Germany World War II, he brought souvenirs, so to speak. And yeah, I got some very interesting stuff. Well, Lou, do you remember? Lou, I don't know how old you are. I'm 55, but um, do you remember in the late 80s, Harley actually had commercials that said riding and wrenching? And I think that about sums it up. Riding and wrenching. I don't know if I want to be wrenching. I'd just rather be riding, you know. 45 in 2 weeks. All right. So we're all in the same kind of frame there, you know. Nice. But yeah, that was their motto. Nice dance, Dan. So last Sunday was my birthday. And I know I was going to do a live on my birthday last Sunday. And I was just so exhausted because We did a lot of traveling last weekend, and I just couldn't do it. Nice, William. William, what are you riding? Gotcha, Joe. Hondas will never let you down, 210 stacks. I'm telling you, Hondas will outlive us all. Hey, Neil. Street Glide. Okay. And by the way, I have nothing against Harley guys. Most of my friends are Harley guys and have Harleys. Just that it's been my experience, you know. Hey, Robert, welcome in. We went on a lot earlier tonight than we usually do. Going forward, we're going to be going on at 10 o'clock instead of 11. So you've already missed an hour and a half. Shame on you. No, no, no. Thanks for being here. I appreciate it. But yeah, you know, and yes, happy birthday, Dan Stan. Enjoy it. So the wife and I last weekend we went for my birthday weekend. We went to into Pennsylvania and we went to Knoebels amusement park. And I don't know if you guys know about Knoebels. Knoebels is one of the oldest amusement parks in the U.S. It opened in 1929, and it's an old school amusement park. Like you can tell, some of the stuff has been there since 1929, and it's a really fun park. It's got a little bit of a water park to it. And it's compact. It's there's a ton to do there, and we went there, and it rained nonstop all day long, and just didn't stop raining to the point where we gave up. We were like, oh, we got to go. Canolas? No, it's Knoebels. What's also cool about Knoebels is it's free to get in. There's no admission. So you just pay for whatever ride you want to go on and food and that sort of thing. So, unlike Great Adventure here in Jersey, that it's like $90 to go there for the day before you even get food or anything, and then you got to pay for parking. Knoebels, no fee for parking, free to get in. You know, but yes, Dan, I appreciate that. So it's just a fun amusement park. Hey, Ralph, are you guys finally home, Ralph? Hey, Ralph, just to let you know, I've been telling everybody, so I'm going to sound like a broken record to some people. We're now going on at 10 o'clock on Sundays instead of 11, since MPG is now going on at 7. So it's just a little bit better for all of us here on the East Coast. You know, good. I'm glad you guys got home. So I was enjoying watching you guys videos driving down and stuff. That was a lot of fun. So, but like I was saying, guys, so last week we went to Knoebels, and then we cut the day short and we went up to Centralia. I don't know if anybody's heard of Centralia, PA. Centralia was a mining town, a coal mining town, and there is a fire that burns underground, and it's going to be burning underground probably for the next 200 years. They can't put it out. It's so big. The town's abandoned, but you can go there, and they've got this highway where people just go and they put graffiti on the highway. You have all the abandoned buildings there and everything. Centralia is just this creepy place, but it's kind of awesome at the same time. And Pennsylvania's only geyser is Centralia. It's not a natural geyser. It is kind of a natural geyser, but it's what happened is because of the underground fires that burn all the time, and what it does is it forces the water to boil up and come up into a geyser, and it runs continuously 24/7. It's not like some of the geysers out west, that blow off steam and then they stop. This is a continually running geyser. And it shoots up about 4 feet tall or so, and just is constant because of the streams that run the ground coming across the fires. They burn so hot it caused that geyser. So we went there, checked out Centralia. It was just a lot of traveling we did, and I was so exhausted. I was falling asleep at like 9 o'clock at night last weekend, and I was just like, "There's no way I can go on. I'm just gonna fall asleep." You know? No, it's not. Well, there are places that could, Cosmin. There are, but what happened was because so many people were going there and it got quite dangerous. The main highway, what they basically did was they dropped literally millions of pounds of soil over it to hide the road. But there's still the offshoot roads there. Yeah, I mean it's worth a trip, you know, not only because there's other stuff to do in the area. It's not like it used to be, but definitely, you know, yeah, definitely it's perpetual geyser. Exactly, Lou. And what's because of the smell of the burning, the one thing I will say about the geyser, there's like a sulfur smell from it that quickly, like, just basically clogs up your nostrils. Like I was there watching it for like 10 minutes, and when I got in the car, I was so clogged up because with the smell, I had to immediately blow my nose out, you know, just to clear my nostrils and get the smell out of it. It just permeates, there's nothing you can do about it. But I like Delaware, Cosman. It's a nice state. I've spent some time there. Um, Gone to some Blue Rocks games down there, minor league baseball. A lot of fun. But yeah, Delaware's a fun little state. But yeah, Centralia is just a really interesting place. And you guys know. Oh yeah, absolutely, Rolf. In fact, I haven't posted it yet, but I did a pocket check video in front of the geyser, and I will put that up some point this week. But I have to edit that because that was gonna be a little bit different because I took some other photos and video and stuff. I'm gonna make it like a little 3-minute video, but that's gonna go up sometime this week. Hey Jay, I didn't see you come in. Well, I'm glad you're here, buddy. Could be the door to hell. Some people think that. Some people think the area is haunted. Um, Seeing as I'm a paranormal investigator, and I've talked about that, um, and I've done that since 2005. We didn't have the time, and also the weather was so bad we couldn't do any investigating there. But that's a whole different tangent. One night, you guys, I should talk to you guys about all my ghost hunting escapades and paranormal escapades. I have a second YouTube channel that hasn't been updated in like 10 years, but we had a lot of videos of investigations and stuff there. Um, but I'll post that stuff at some other point. We still investigate. We just don't film anything anymore. It's not worth the time and aggravation or the hours of editing it takes. There was a point when we were going for, or I was going for, to get on a paranormal investigating TV show, and I had some contacts. And at this point, because I did the paranormal podcast, paranormal post podcast for such a long time, I got really known in the field. I was a featured speaker at a bunch of paranormal conventions and stuff. So with that, with that being said, I had some opportunities possibly to get on TV on some of those shows, and just didn't work out for whatever reason. You know, I have consulted on a couple of those TV shows, but I know when you watch any of the ghost hunting shows, I pretty much know everybody in that field. Whether it be Grant from Ghost Hunters, actually almost the whole Hunters cast. I know Josh Gates. I know really well. You know, some of the guys from Ghost Adventures. You know, but I've hung out with almost everybody on those TV shows. I probably should. I should probably jump on and do some live streams under the paranormal channel. You know, and just talk about that kind of stuff. I wouldn't want to do that here. We're EDC and knives here. You know, and food and beer and coffee and guitars and everything else. But the paranormal, we'll save that for a different place, different time. 100 minutes in. All right, we're doing well on time. So I'm going to keep going till about midnight if everybody just wants to hang out. Awesome, Cicero. That'll be awesome. 100%. See, we're house shopping. And when we get into a new house, I'm actually probably going to build a full-time, full-scale studio because I do the lives in here. This is actually my recording studio, where all my guitars live, my amplifiers and everything else, and all my recording gear. But and when I do my videos, and those are shot down, that's in a different location than where I do this. Neil, we should see the problem is with the lag, but I would love to do a jam session. There is software for it that works pretty well, but I worry about the lag, you know. No, the problem, Lou, is when I move, if don't take us the wrong way, but in a lot of other states, we can't make the money that we do here in the New York, New Jersey area. So that's one of the reasons that keeps us here. Just call it what it is, you know. What do you have, William? As you guys know, I mean, I'm sitting in front of. I mean, as I move over, just to give you an idea, I've got 7 guitars. No, actually, right now there's 5 on here. I got 5 guitars sitting here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 amps just right here alone. And altogether, I sold a bunch of guitars over the last couple of months. You know, Lou, it also depends on where you live in New Jersey. I live in Sussex County, so I am in northwest New Jersey. I am in farmland. So it's really nice here. It really depends. Like I wouldn't want to live like on the other side of north of New Jersey, you know, 2 Washburns. Now it's funny, William, like I said, I sold a bunch of guitars in the last few weeks. So I'm down from 48 guitars, I think down to like 38 right now. And I don't have a Washburn in my collection. I've never had a Washburn in my collection, you know. But and amps, my God, I've got amps coming out the yin yang here. Well, I've been selling a lot of my guitars to fund my knives, you know. Neil McKenzie, Somerset Patriots, one of my favorite minor league baseball teams. But I mean, even right next to me at any moment, I could just pull out effects pedals, um, little 5-watt amp, you know. Jaeger EDC, hello there. One of my favorite pedals ever, the Rat, still in the box. I have multiples of those. So there's always just gear sitting next to me when you guys see me in here because this is my recording studio. But yeah, all kinds of stuff, you know. What we got here. One of my favorite pedals, the Shaky Jimmy pedal. Kind of cool. 3 electric. You know what's funny, William? I'm not into acoustic guitar at all, and I have 1, 2, 3 of them sitting here, 4 of them actually, and they almost never get played. Why? Yes, I do. I have the Spark Mini, the little guy. Where is it? It's in here somewhere. But hold, please. I think that's here somewhere. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to the other room to get my spark. Looking for my spark. Yes. William, there it is. I have the Spark Mini. I use this to practice. It sits on the side of my couch, and I play with this all the time. You know what's great about that cab is that you can even use this little one, and it just works so well with that cabinet. I no, because unfortunately or fortunately, they still have value, and I can sell them at some point. But see, my thing is, as you guys could clearly see, I'm a guy who loves to play with effects. By the way, one of the best distortions ever made, the Tech 21 double XL pedal. Amazing pedal. Nice, William. You know, but yeah. Let me show you. There it is. I mean, right now I have a ton of knives sitting on top of my amps over here. But I mean, I'm surrounded by amps all over the place. There's like 23 amps in here. I mean, I've been playing for almost, next year will be 40 years. So I've collected 40 years worth of gear, from effects pedals to amps to guitars. So, you know, you know, Cicero, I'm surrounded right now by 4 Les Pauls, and they're okay. You know, they're not my favorite guitars. I'm more of a super strat kind of guy. Um, I like playing with a Floyd Rose trem in a lot of cases. You know, one of my favorite guitars is one that I totally modded. Check this out. Oops. Check out this monster. It's an Ibanez RG. One of the best guitars I own. All green. It's my green machine. And I don't know if you guys are able to see, but the strings are even green. DR neons. Under black light, they'll glow. So, but one of my favorites. Put the tree of the vine of life inlays on there. So one of my totally custom guitars, you know. But yeah, guitars are what I do. Guitars and motorcycles and knives. That's about right. But yeah, like I don't know. Music has always been such a fun hobby. Yeah, see, I'm more of a hard rock, metal, punk, thrash, hardcore type of player. Um, and also surf rock. I love surf rock. I've been Surf rock is what I kind of grew up on. So, but I can play everything. I mean, I've been playing so long. I appreciate everything. You know, country music. There are some great pickers who play country music. Some chicken pickers, man, who can just, they've got riffs galore. in the world. Want to see another cool guitar? Check this out. Let's get this box up off the floor that I knocked over. So this is an Aria Diamond. This is a copy of a Moss-Rite. What an amazing sounding and playing guitar. P90s and just some really fun stuff. Like I said, I play a lot of surf music on top of, the metal. So I need a variety of guitars, But yeah. And I'll pull out one of the sickest looking guitars ever. Move that there. Move that. And this guitar just reeks of metal. This is a BC Rich Bitch custom edition. There is no more guitar that is more metal than that, in my opinion. And I've got two of them. I've got this one, which was from the 90s, and I have one that is actually from the 80s. But yeah. Put that puppy down right there. So, none more metal. Well, Lou, it's funny you say that. So, Lou, there's my Jaguar. Even though it kind of looks, it's like a safety orange. But yes, this is my Jaguar. So yes, I do have a Jaguar. I also have a Jazzmaster too. But I mean, we can play show and tell one night with just guitars. It would be a long time coming. Yeah, Johnny Marr, that's a nice addition. Actually, what I want is I want one of the. Um, oh, I'm drawing a blank now. Never mind, I'm drawing a blank. Cicero, I tell all the people at work, I always walk around and tell them, I was like, a big shot in the company like me, every once in a while has to get back down to earth with you little people and come to work with you guys, just so I could give back a little bit. They all kind of roll their eyes at me, and they're like, shut up. And I deserve to be told shut up on that. All right, so we got about 6 minutes left. This has been a fun one tonight. You guys have been really cool in the chat. I really enjoy that, going back and forth. And for some reason, I don't know why, but it's easier for me to read in the vertical than it is in the horizontal. It just shows up bigger on my screen. So I'm not squinting like I usually am. But hope you guys are all having fun. Oh, let me show you another sick looking metal guitar that I have. So this is a Schecter Diamond Series guitar. Whoops, chair spun. And this is another one that is metal as fuck in plain English. EMG pickups, active pickups, battery powered, set neck, and just wicked looking. By the way, little trivia for you guys who are guitar players. Do you guys know that a Gibson headstock fits perfectly into Schecter? Schecter made this. In fact, hold on. I'm going to get one to show you. All right, Gibson. Come here, Gibson. All right. Let's try not to damage guitars. So you've got the Gibson headstock, and then you have the Schecter. And they fit right into each other. It's kind of hard to hold them like this, but you can kind of get the idea. I don't know if you guys can see that, but they fit right there. And that's because Schecter went just the opposite shape as Gibson. By the way, this is a fun Gibson. This Gibson was only out for a year, but kind of cool. Flat top. Hold on. Thanks, Dan. I've been building my collection over a long time. And since I worked in the music industry for a while, I was able to get a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. All right. No more show and tell guitars. We'll do a whole show about that one day. But this is a knife channel. Nice, Neil. Yeah, and we're going to log off now. So, William, I appreciate you being here. It's almost midnight. So we've been on just about 2 hours. Do any of you guys have any custom built guitars? Like, I don't have any custom builts that were built by other guitar makers, but I've built some of my own guitars, and I can show you some of those at some point. When it comes to guitars, I've done everything from playing to building to working tech with other bands, working on amps. Like I said, I've been doing this since 1986 as far as guitars and collecting and working on them. And when I was younger, I didn't have money to pay guitar shops to work on my guitars, so I just had to learn how to do it. You know, when you're broke, it kind of forces you into a lot of things. So, all right, guys, we're gonna wrap up. It's been 2 hours. I enjoyed the hell out of this tonight. You guys are all awesome. You gals as well. I don't know why I keep saying it's guys as a collective, but all you guys and gals are really awesome. I appreciate all of you, and we'll do this again. Oh wow, that's pretty cool, Cicero. All right, we've hit 2 hours. I want to say goodnight to everybody. Again, I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. And if you guys get a chance during the week, just throw on one of my playlists in the background to let it play. I guess I'm trying to build up those hours so we get monetized, and we're this close. All right, Lou, appreciate you being here. Neil, same, all of you guys. I love you all. Good night.